Got to give a lot of credit to Temple. We knew coming into the game what a talented roster that was, having developed that team and recruited a lot of that team. So we knew going into it how good they were. Really proud of how our guys battled and fought. The game came down to red zone. We had 3 times we were inside the 30, and we had 3 turnovers. And then third down offense, we were 2 for 14. Whatever they were better than 7 of 16. But the turnovers in the red zone were the name of the game, and you cannot do that versus a good of a roster that we just played. And I'm just really proud of the way the guys battled. Kenny Cooper went down, probably going to lose him for a while. So that was a big thing. We've already lost Hazel. William Lay was in there battling, and it was good to have Connor Hansen back out there. Guard hadn't played all season. Battled back to get into the lineup with all of our injuries that we've had along the offensive line. So really, really proud of him. JP was down. Obviously, everybody saw Lucas Johnson was down, but thought we moved the ball really well at times. I thought we played really, really hard against I think one of the best front sevens in all of college football. And that offensive line is really, really good as well. So credit to them, credit to the Temple University players. Obviously, tried to hide my emotions as much as I could throughout the last 2 weeks. But seeing the guys that we were blessed to coach the last 2 years and compete against them, I thought our guys went out there and battled and fought. And obviously we came up short, but we have a chance to continue to get better and keep continuing to fight to be a really, really good football team.
How strange was this for you? Whatever you thought it'd be like, was it that or was it?
Now that it's over.
Now that it's over.
Now that it's over. It was surreal. Because in this coaching profession, I got into it to impact the lives of young men. And when you do that, and that's your focus, and helping them get better in every single phase of their lives, you develop deep, meaningful, lasting relationships. And obviously, a lot of us on this coaching staff, me, probably even more so, have lifelong relationships, with those guys. And just like over the next few months, the relationships and the bonds that we formed with our players, right now that we're currently blessed to coach, there can be lifetime relationships, or if it's not, then you're in coaching for the wrong reasons. That's why I'm in coaching, so that I can have an impact on young men's lives and help them to achieve really good things. Obviously, the loss hurts really, really bad, multiplied by how personal it was. But at the end of the game, the amount of guys that came up and shared a little story about how we impacted their lives or how we made a difference, how they miss us, how they love us, and obviously that's reciprocal. Those moments are special, and make you think that at least whatever you've done for the last 2 years of your life, the investment that you've made in somebody else's life is worth it. And we're doing that same thing here with these amazing young men that we get to coach. And we're very young, but the guys, the small set of seniors that we have, and really even the small set of juniors that we have, every day come to work. They have a great attitude. They buy into the culture that we talk about every single day. And I think very soon you're going to see the fruits of that labor. And obviously after 2 years of investing, that team that we just played, the residual effects of those relationships and those lessons have paid off for those guys. So we'll keep getting better here at Georgia Tech, and we'll start seeing those results even stronger moving forward.
Was there anyone from Temple who surprised you today?
I thought Benny Walls, obviously he had 2 picks. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Had a fumble recovery after an interesting play, the play before. And then he had the pick in the red zone, that would have made it a two-score game, and ran it out to the 40. So I thought he played really well. The front seven, like I said, is an elite front seven for Temple. That O-line, I think it's got the 3 best interior players, or one of the top 10 best interior 3, in the country, and 2 offensive linemen that are really good. So hats off to them. They played really well, but just our guys from start to finish went out there and battled. We convert those times that we're in the red zone. It's a different game, but our guys kept battling, and I'm really proud of them. T.O. on the 1-inch line, the ball gets popped out. Again, that's a different, possibly a different game.
How do you feel about the offense 4 games in now and the progression you're seeing and then the issues in the red zone?
Yeah. So the evolution of this offense, from where it began day 1 to where it is now, it is light years better. Obviously, you need to score in the red zone so that you look at the scoreboard and you feel really good about it. But going against that front 7 and moving the ball and how we protected better than I think anybody in the country would have imagined us protecting, especially with the hits that we've had along the front 5. So I think we're going to continue to get better. I mean, this is a transformation unlike anything in Division I football in a long, long time. And our coaches are committed to making it work, and it's going to work. It's just an evolution, and every single week we get better and better and better. And that team that's in there right now is going to be a really good football team. And I'm just lucky I get to coach them every single day.
James, you got to see James Graham for an extensive period of time, maybe for the first time this year. What's your evaluation of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very talented thrower, very talented quarterback, and talking about injuries, he wasn't fully cleared to play until Wednesday, and got in there, went out for a little bit, came back in. Tobias Oliver did some really nice things, and so I mean they're both really good players, and hopefully we'll get Lucas back soon. But the evolution will keep happening. I mean, Tobias with JP going down was our leading rusher, and obviously James was the leading passer. And but there's things that are cause you to have really, really, really good hope.
The defense, they had the 2 low scoring drives, but other than that, I thought played pretty well.
Played really well. And here's the thing too. So they went out and based out of 12 personnel, obviously because they got a big front 5, and then they've got 2 tight ends. One's 6'4", 245, one's 6'5", 230, 235. So really good players that they could move around. So that was a little unique. They hadn't majored in that as much as they did today. They did a lot of huddling and breaking from the huddle, which they have been a spread operation. So that was different. But I thought Coach Stacker and the defensive staff did a really nice job making adjustments. But that was very unique based on what they had shown the first 3 games, or even a lot of the games last year. So using the personnel, they've got 2, probably 2 of the best tight ends in that league, and really good team.
Anything else? When you saw the schedule, I don't know when it was, and saw this game, what went through your head, and what has it been like all the months and days leading up to it?
Sure. You guys that have been around me for the last 2 years know that I'm able to compartmentalize very well. So even though we've known this is on the horizon, we can't focus on it until after game 3. And so it's just, I told the people at the media last week, that my daughter, when we were watching Temple play last Saturday, was running around singing the Temple fight song. I hope she wasn't up there doing that today, So, I mean, there's irony in this, and I get it. But all we can do is focus on what we can do to get better, take the positives from that game, which there were a lot, and understand that is a really good football team and a really good roster that we just played, and we went toe-to-toe with them in week 4 of a transformation. And there's a lot of things that we can be really proud of, but just finishing in the red zone, we've got to do that. Converting 3rd downs, we've got to do that. But the competing, battling, playing together, playing hard. If you don't have those things, you cannot get better. we have those things, and now we'll just continue to progress and develop moving forward, and the guys are going to have a great attitude in doing it.
How's the frustration level in terms of the players? And I imagine there has to be some because you've been so close in these last 2 losses to really having 2 wins or 2 close games if 1 or 2 plays go differently. Are you seeing that at all?
No, I mean, the guys understand that, we're doing things, that are hurting ourselves. We have to learn from those things. We have to look inward. Because what happens in a lot of places is I'm not going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on these things that are going wrong. Well, that's not what you do to be an elite program. We have to focus on ourselves. I've got to look internally for myself. Our offense and defense staffs will look internally what we can do to help our players. It's a very unique roster. How we can help them, put them in positions to have a lot of success. And individually, our players have to perfect a process so they can play well on Saturdays. What is the process tomorrow? We come in and we watch the film. We go out there and have Sunday practice. How are you going to take the lessons that we learned from today and apply them? And we come back out in Tuesday's practice, and you guys have been out there, and that's a process, and it's very physical. But we have to prepare ourselves every single day to play well on Saturdays, and that's the complete and utter focus in this program.
Jeff,
I'm good, Mike. I got time.
Okay. Obviously, you didn't get a chance to coach Vermont Davis, but you recruited him to Temple. How impressed were you today with what he was able to do as a true freshman?
There's 14 guys in that 2 deep that we recruited.
Yeah.
And they're really good players. I think our staff does a really, really nice job of evaluating talent. Length, speed, competitive nature, toughness. That's the things that we're looking for. And, obviously, we found it, we developed it. The mindset that we have in our organization is pervasive, and you see it out there on the team that we just played. So that's a good football player that has got a lot of talent, the right mindset, and then we recruited really well and developed that talent, and that's what we're in the process right now. We've got some really, really good football players on this roster. We're developing and finding the things that they can do at a high level. We're also recruiting really, really well and have a very good eye for exactly what we want in this organization from a competitive standpoint, from a length and speed standpoint. And we take a great deal of pride in how we recruit and how we develop young men in our program.
Anything else?
Do you feel like if you can find some sustained offensive success that will take some of the pressure off and you'll maybe avoid some of the plays that are causing some of the turnovers that are seem like extreme effort plays maybe where someone's trying to stretch the ball out or do something a little too much maybe that's causing... Do you feel like if you guys have success on offense that it will calm everything down and people will play better because they're relaxed? You feel like the offense may be uptight a little bit in terms of trying to do too much, like guys like Tobias trying to do too much?
Everybody is just trying to play really, really well, learn new schemes, learn new techniques. I think we forget that we've been in a 4-point stance for 11 years. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're doing something completely different. Tobias Oliver's been, more or less a running back for a while, and now he's being asked to do some different things, and there is a learning curve, but he is an unbelievable competitor and an unbelievable young man that I'm blessed to coach. He's one of the most competitive players that I've ever coached. And I know he wishes he could have maybe accelerated a little more toward the end zone. But when he gets that chance again, he's going to make sure we possess the ball and get the touchdown. I mean, it was this close, so I don't think it's a fact of trying to stress to overcompensate for something else. I think he's an unbelievable competitor, as are all our guys. We just have to focus on everything that we can do individually to collectively develop both sides of the ball. So that's what we're in the process of doing.
Anything else for Coach Collins?
On the Tobias' second fumble, the one that got run back, you seem to have a question for one of the officials. Was there something on the play that you saw that it wasn't officiated properly, or you wanted to hear an answer about?
Did you ask about the play before? Is that what you're asking about the play?
Well,
before?
I didn't. I just saw your reaction after the run back that you had some questions.
think you're asking about the play before.
Okay, I guess I
that
am,
play.
yes, I think I am asking about the person, but.
I'm not going to answer that, but I think you're asking about the play before. that.